Hey guys, thank you very much for joining us today. We're going to be starting this new program where we'll be talking to you and taking on various topics over the next while. We really just look forward to sharing a lot of our knowledge and information and our passion for uh, for the FlowRider and for the sport of flowboarding. It The very first time I rode the FlowRider was on the Bruticus Maximus, known as lethal suction. Back in the day, it was the year 2000, and we had set up the barrel at Belmont Park, and we were doing a massive event with Swatch and Siemens. But during that period, we had built the wave, and it took a long time to build everything and get it set up. And I was new in the country. I just moved from South Africa. Prior to when I was living in South Africa, I didn't even know what a standing wave was. And I joined the company shortly thereafter. And the very first time that I rode, I just couldn't believe how the ride felt. It felt like I was trying to stand on a bar of soap, and it just blew my mind how people were so skilled at it. Very first time I got on, I just completely wiped out, and then you see these guys get on there, and they were just absolutely killing it. And that was when really things started for me. And it was almost 19 years ago. So it's been a while. I've been around the block, and it's just really a great company to be a part of, and it's a great product to sell. So my role is VP of Business Development, and quite honestly, a lot of what I do is really just sharing my passion with people, being able to kind of communicate my experience on how to operate the ride, how to create a business. I would say that first and foremost, my speciality is how do we turn our love for riding boards into a business, and that's kind of where I have a lot of experience, and I have a lot of great clients that have seen quite a bit of success, and it's pretty exciting. I would say prior to 2009, our approach with sales was to pretty much just offer a product and say, look, here's the FlowRider, these are the specifications, this is how it works, this is how you build it, these are the lead times, so on and so forth. But we really never got into the business model behind it. And I was constantly asked by customers, what is the return on investment? And, in those days, we were very much afraid, or we didn't want to tell people what the return on investment was, or try and guide our customers into how they would get a return on investment. We were standoffish to that because we were, in a way, concerned about what if it didn't perform, or what if this were to happen. And so we never took that approach of trying to consult or guide our customers down that path. And around 2009, I had this moment, an epiphany, where I realized, hold on a second, we've been working with this product for more, 10 years now. If I'm not the expert on how to operate a ride, how to build a business, how can I expect my customer who has maybe 3 months or 6 months worth of knowledge of this product to be an expert? And I completely changed the way that I look at things. The first thing that I did was start to create a feasibility study that really, when you walk through the steps, you can then have an understanding of what the return on investment would be. That was the very first thing that I did. And from there, we developed that feasibility analysis. And our goal with with the feasibility analysis is not to try and trick someone or just kind of pass it off, but our goal is to go through a process of discovery and really guide our clients into what they should be doing. In other words, if you can work through feasibility analysis and you start to realize, hold on a second, my area can support a bigger wave or a bigger venue. On the flip side, you may be working with someone and they start running through the numbers, and then you realize, well, maybe a FlowRider single would be a better product to fit into that scenario. So it's always really just about trying to learn, trying to gather information, and come up with a strategy that has a little bit more numbers behind it versus just kind of ideas and passion. Now, don't get me wrong, you need passion, you need to have the ideas, you need to start somewhere, but at the end of the day, you also need to have an understanding of what kind of revenue you're going to be generating, how much it's going to cost for you to build a venue, and so on. So these are key things that come into play. From there, from 2009 onwards, instead of looking at myself as just like a sales rep trying to sell a product, I started taking on the approach of being more like a FlowRider consultant, where my role is there to try and help you, the customer, have a better understanding of how to build a business. We get involved with feasibility studies, we get involved with business plans, we get involved with the operational strategies, and there's so much to learn, there's so much to know. I'm always learning things, and it's just one of my real passions is to work with my clients to have a real understanding of what they should be doing and how they should build it and how they should design the venue. We also get very much involved with the venue design and how it fits in the site. And there are certain things that you need to know and need to understand. We get really involved with operations. A great example is when you look at operations, you may think, well, people come in, they pay money, and they ride. Well, that's not always the best way to approach it, maybe if you're a water park. But if you're more of a standalone type venue, you want to run the wave by the session. So in other words, you'll have, let's say, a 1 hour session, you'll limit it to around 10 people per side. And those 10 people will rotate amongst themselves for an hour. At the end of the hour, they'll leave, and then a new group of 20 will come in. Now, there are certain things that you can do as well. If you charge a little bit more money, you can reduce the number of people that are riding. Or you could run it by the half hour. So, as an example, if your venue is near the beach, and people are walking around in bathing suits anyway, you may want to just do a half hour session. It could be easier and less of a commitment for people to come and ride. Whereas if you are in more of an urban setting, the process for people to come in, park their car, put in their bathing suit, and so on, you may want to then have more of an hour session. Because when you're riding for an hour, you get to have a much broader experience. Another thing is, and there's so many nuances, is that when you ride for 30 minutes, by the end of that 30 minutes, you're only starting to learn to stand up, and you're learning things. By the end of the hour, you are getting better, and you are seeing that progress. And as a result, people who ride for an hour are more inclined to come back and ride in another session or come back in another week. Another thing that we've seen is sometimes people have a reduced rate, and that reduced rate increases the number of people that are eating and drinking in your food and beverage establishment, your restaurant. And so that's another big factor as well. When you have people who are, if you're wanting to drive a lot of volume through the space, or if you're wanting to have more of a unique kind of boutique type experience, you may charge a little bit more. So there are so many nuances and things that come into play when it comes to how to operate the venue. We also get involved with software and how to program the ride from a support perspective, online booking systems, and really all of this kind of culminated in when we worked on developing the Flow House. And Flow House, or even any kind of standalone business, is more of a whole venue where you have your food and beverage, retail, events, and then ride ticket sales. So that's a little bit about how we work. We love to get involved with our clients. We love to kind of hold their hand through the process, and we just enjoy it when people lean on us to have us help them to come up with the mindset of how you go about developing these venues. We're incredibly proud to say that we have more repeat clients than anyone else out there, and we just enjoy kind of building businesses and building successful businesses. So we look forward to working with you over the next while, and if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call or shoot an email through our website, and we thank you for taking the time to watch this video.